Let's set the stage. The fists are flying. Society has broken down. The grocery stores are boarded up. There is no gas. People waited for days and hours to get gas. Pumps are all down. People have taken to the streets. Buildings and businesses are burned. The grocery stores, they're gone. They have been for weeks. What do you do next? Times have been rough. The old world you know is long gone, replaced with a blunt cruelty you never ever imagined possible. People are dispersed. Cities are collapsing. The infrastructure is completely lacking. It's been 20 months since the government collapsed. Various attempts to stabilize or form a new one have failed time and time again. The last traces of an orderly economy, well, are gone with that government. There is no first responders or police or firefighters. We can't even find a doctor. Cash is gone. Credit and ATM cards, well, might as well cut them up. However, for a short period of time, maybe a couple of months, we did walk around with that wad of dollars in our pocket. We did buy a few things here and there. But as we stand in the rubble now of vacant grocery stores, busted out windows, cars that have been, well, abandoned and deserted, there's not a whole lot left. There's not even gas left to salvage. So where do we go? And how do we go forward? Because this gray man theory, well, can we even make it? Our family still has some food, we still have some water, but things are starting to get rough. Do people even know how to barter? What can we barter with? Do I have stuff I can deal? Maybe barter with? Do you remember the days when you could go to the flea market? Oh yeah, I remember those days. We could go to the flea market. You always try to talk somebody down on their price, or maybe even at the grocery store you were smart aleck and said, could I get that a little cheaper? Uh, yeah, it's actually a skill. It is a skill to be able to communicate, barter, and wheel and deal. As we called it when I was out on the road, we called it horse dealing. It was a great way to get things for a little cheaper, or maybe trade for something great. But it does make you think about, well, the stage is set, and we are here. And now, with the streets, well, they've pretty much went black. Well, lucky us, we still have some things. We do. But the thing is when it comes down to bartering, well, folks, there's always going to be some risk. Bartering is old as humanity itself, and it's been used for a long, long time to trade commodities and services. Bartering works well in tiny communities where everyone knows each other or is kind of in the same situation with similar mentality. But it gets really dangerous, and it only gets dangerous when you're interacting with strangers. Consider the consequences of trading ammunition with an unvetted outsider who may use the same ammunition to take the rest of your supplies. Hold back. Never show your entire hand when negotiating a bargain. Always keep your catch of items hidden and only bring what you intend to trade ahead. Even better, avoid trading near your stockpile. If someone notices that you have 10 cases of vodka, and that may work against you, making each bottle of vodka less valuable. And if the person with whom you're trading believes that there's only one bottle of vodka within 10 square miles of him, the value of that bottle rises, and may be traded for more. How much you really need something, how badly someone needs something from you, is going to influence how much the object is worth. Remember that the perceived worth of any object is totally important to a person's degree of satisfaction. The other thing is always to remember to play it cool. The finest agreement in one in which both parties believe they have won. But even if you have the upper hand, don't enrage the other guy. You might do business with him again. You might need him again, and never ever admit your desire for something specific. Just kind of browse and say, hey, what do you got? And what do I got? And maybe we could do some bartering. The thing is like when you go to a flea market or what I call horse trading, there's things that I bartered a piece of junk to me for a chainsaw that worked. And the guy was like, well, I'm not sure if it works. And I'm like, well, let's test it. He said, I still want that item if you trade me for it. I said, okay. It was a nice chainsaw. I traded. I got something way more valuable to me and more useful to me than what he, in my opinion, got. But it was his choice. I made him look like he had the upper hand, but really, I was jumping up and down inside that I got a steel. Yeah, that's right, folks. A steel chainsaw for a little tiny wood table that I could have gave a rat's butt about. But possessing commodities or services for trade are only ones who have a chance of survival. Your first step in survival is to make sure you're well supplied, not just with items you need today, tomorrow, or next week or next month, but things that maybe you have a little bit more access to and that you can get at a lower price. Maybe things, people always say, well, I'm going to buy this or I'm going to buy that. I'm just going to show you a few things that I think could become a very good bartering item. You can see here in the picture behind me that there's quite a few things lined up. But these are some things I grabbed out of our table. One is, well, somebody maybe needs some fuel, and that fuel, liquid fuel in a can, they may not be able to eat without this can of fuel. Would it be worth it to them to trade one of their flashlights for my can of fuel? Possibly. Would I be willing to do that trade? I don't know. It really depends on the things that you have and what you have in excess. But anything can become a bartering item, as I'm going to show. Maybe you have stocked up before the collapse on things that you felt were so important, like maybe cough syrup, maybe aspirin or ibuprofen or Tylenol. And you have a lot and you realize, man, I probably got enough for 2, 3, 4 years or longer. These can become very valuable to someone when you watch your child cough and be sick and have the croup, and if you only had a bottle of cough medicine. Now, I have a big heart. I do. And I would try to help somebody. But, I'm not going to just hand out all my preps either. I'm not going to hand out those things because, well, myself or dragonflies or maybe one of our family members shows up, maybe one of our neighbors shows up and they're in dire needs of something. So I would trade a bottle of cough syrup. I'd trade it for a lot of things. And it really depends if the person says, hey, I haven't been able to get cough syrup for months and my child is getting worse by the day. If I just had some cough syrup, maybe it could relieve a little bit of that stress on them. So there's a lot of things that come into bartering. How much there is in one area, how much the person wants it, and how willing you are to barter for it and trade. The thing is you can use anything for trading, anything. We have several tourniquets and medical first aid supplies. Would I be willing to trade some of those? Possibly. But see, I want to look at my situation and my family situation first. And yeah, it might sound a little self centered, but when it all breaks down and when it comes down to survival, you may have to be a little self centered, honestly. Because the last thing you want to do is give away something that, well, my gosh, now 3 months down the road, I traded that and I needed it. I really needed it. If you have plenty of food, ammo, you have shelter over your head, you have plenty of ways to heat and cook your food, is it best to set back till They come knocking on your door. Are they going to knock quickly at your door? We've seen so many situations around this country escalate so quickly that I think it's very important to look at those bartering items. Another thing that I've been stacking up on, and I've been stacking up on it for quite a while, is butane in the can and the small green propane. I've been stacking these for probably 3 years. Do I have a lot? Well, that's for me to know right now. Would I be willing to trade one of these? Could it become invaluable to someone else that really needs one? You bet. I have a Zippo collection of lighters. Me and Dragonflies just had this discussion the other night. That Zippo collection, yes, it's a beautiful collection. It's been around in my family for years. Me and my dad started it years and years ago. But in the breakdown of society, are those just going to become a lighter? You bet they are. Those flints, that's just going to become an item. It's not going to be a collector's item anymore. You got to understand that because that's going to be gone from our society. We have little solar packs, little tiny ones. This is made by Extreme, and we have several of these, so you can charge your phone. You can plug these in while you have power and keep them powered up. We also have solar packs that are solar. These are USB or electricity, but we also have solar ones. Would I trade one of those? Probably not. Would I trade anything solar? Probably not, because solar is going to be a way to protect you and your family for sure, for sure. Um, the other thing that let's just take for example, just looks like a case, right? Well, inside this little eyeglass case, and I'll show it. I have a couple emergency credit cards for one, and I have silver stashed away for two. I don't know if y'all can see it. I have silver stashed away. And then I have, well, another pair of reading glasses. I have been stashing away reading glasses of all different strengths. If I see them on sale, I pick them up. I think I was up to 14 pairs now. I just found another one that's 15. We have paracord bracelets. We have paracord survival things. And then one thing I started doing that Dragonfly suggested, she bought it for me. It was a great deal. And then I didn't realize what a bartering tool this would actually be. So I'm going to kind of slide you over and see if you can see it here. Um, right there on the table, if you look real closely, right here, you'll see several tubes for tobacco. And you'll also see tobacco. You'll also see the machine that she got me with a really good sell. The thing is, folks, is tobacco, when you buy it in big bags like this, well, for example, here you for $3.59, you get 200 tubes. There's 20 cigarettes to a pack. You start rolling your own cigarettes, or I'm going to slide you back over, or you start using that tobacco for trading. I tell you, this is something I read and something I know from working with a nonprofit organization to fight crime. In prison and jail, cigarettes can go $10, $20 cash. So imagine in the breakdown of society, for an investment of $4 for the tubes, which is 200. And let me see, I'm not sure. This is a big monstrous bag of tobacco. What I did is I split up the bag. I put half in the refrigerator, and then I'm getting another bag, a couple bags, and this is 16 ounces, so it's a pound of Cheyenne pipe tobacco. And I think this cost me around 10 or 11, $12, $12. So I should be able to make about, I'd say four times two, around 800 cigarettes. So imagine this: 800 cigarettes at $20 a pop. Um, let's be real. That's 1,600 bucks worth of stuff. Oh, so me and Dragonflies, we need maybe some flour, maybe some sugar, maybe some different types of items. Well, guess what? We can just ask for those items and get someone to trade with us. And if they are hooked on tobacco, I also have pods that's kind of like chewing tobacco. So, I'm not saying go out and buy things. I'm saying that when the breakdown comes and when it's lights out and you have to start bartering, it's a really interesting thing to see what people will barter for. So at the end of this video, we're going to play Deal or No Deal. And I challenge everybody in the chat to enjoy this game. It's going to get you to think, would you make a deal for this item? What would you trade me for this item? And we're talking total collapse of society. See, a lot of things happen when you go to a flea market or you start doing horse trading, is that people think their item is worth more than what it really is. We're talking the end of society. We're talking lights out. There's no grocery stores open, no gas stations open, no financial institutions, no first responders. It's up to the people to trade among themselves to survive the collapse of society. And as we do this game, like, yeah, I know y'all are going to probably get funny, but really, I don't think it's funny. I really think that you need to tune in on this skill of bartering and horse trading. And if you've never done it, you may be surprised that you may not be able to get crap. And when that happens to you, I don't want to say or send you a letter and say, I told you so. I don't want to say that. And that's why I think it's so important that we tune in on the skill of bartering. The other thing is your skills are going to come into play. We've talked about it. We've talked about skills and how they could change things for you. You know, if you're in the medical industry, if you're a teacher, if you're a seamstress, if you're a taxidermy, if you're if you have a smokehouse, if you have a lot of wood on your property, there's a lot of things. Uh, Another thing that just came to my mind is Betty. I know that you went and got a lot of wood, but wood is not good to burn as soon as you get it. Wood has to go from green. And if you don't give it enough time to dry out, you're going to cause yourself a big problem. Make sure your wood is seasoned, that it's lasted long enough, that it's dried out long enough. There is a moisture meter that I showed last winter. I'll do another moisture meter to show y'all, not in this live, but I'll show it to you. Um, Actually, this is going to be a premiere, and then we're going to come back on OTWP prepping this weekend and do Deal or No Deal. And I'm going to line up items and we're going to talk about it in chat. And I want your opinions. I want your thoughts. I want what you're thinking, because this is how you're going to meet obstacles and overcome those obstacles and realize that maybe everybody don't want to trade the way you want to trade. And maybe you're going to have to step back and say, okay, maybe this isn't the best idea. Maybe this is something I need to reevaluate in my own prepping. Because I will tell you this much, folks, when it all breaks down, it's really, really important to be able to do things, but also to think about the consequences of the things that you do. And when it comes to bartering, your skills are going to come into play. You know, imagine that you have uh, double A, triple A batteries, and the other person, well, they raised a lot of crops. They have a sustainable food source, and you don't. And that would come into play so that maybe you could trade out some different things. There's so many different ways bartering can go. I will say this from the bottom of my heart is that when it comes to bartering, you better know who you're bartering with, or you better put that little emblem in the back of your head, that little movie that I used to love to watch, Danger, Will Robinson, Danger, because survival is going to be difficult. People seeking a sense of normalcy is going to have an increased desire for like things of like soap, shampoo, toothpaste, clean physique, and fresh breath are medical essentials for living a long life for sure. Having some shampoo, um, the first to go, will be the common ordinary objects that most of us take for granted. You know, how many toothpaste tubes do you have currently in your home? One, two, six, 10? Honestly, answer that question in this premiere. How many tubes of toothpaste do you currently have? And then also, can you go without cleaning your teeth till it runs out? As would the baking soda. But you need teeth to survive, and having a tooth infection during a crisis would be a terrible, terrible situation. I personally, us personally, we have over, well, hold on. Let me let you have a chance to answer in the premiere. How many tubes of toothpaste do you have? Because, okay, I'll tell. We have somewhere between the last count I did was roughly 41. We have over 11 bottles of shampoo. We have over 22 bars of soap. And now we've started making our own laundry soap. So those things are going to come into play. Those things and preparing for those basics. Dental floss is really cheap. What a great prep. Having some knives, some ammunition, having a lot of ammunition. Caffeine and coffee and tea can be a powerful drug, even if it's not as strong as alcohol or nicotine. Because of that nature, the bean ground coffee beans lose flavor almost immediately and do not store well. However, freeze drying instant coffee will last indefinitely. I hope that you took something from this. I hope that you enjoyed this and maybe go to your local flea market. Go in there and, well, try to barter and see how that turns out for you. It may give you a sense. I think I was crooked for a minute, but it'll give you a sense of what would really happen. And then I'll see you all. I'm not going to be doing any lives until next week. So the rest of the week, there's no lives. The rest of the weekend, no lives on any channel. But we will do deal or no deal. I'm trying to figure out how to do it because I really don't want to go live this weekend. And y'all are probably like, please, please, let's have a live. But I would rather wait and we could do this premiere again over at Off the Wall Prepper and get more people involved because I think this is a very, very important topic. And I think sometimes it's overlooked. And I think sometimes people don't know what the heck they're talking about until you're actually out there doing it. That's when you realize what bartering and horse trading is all about. If you're from the South and, well, the Southern people always made me laugh because they always thought their things were worth way more than what they were. But it's the old thing, supply and demand. So we'll keep the game night for over on Off the Wall Prepper. So other than the videos that'll be coming out at OTWP TV News, um, I will see you all Monday or Tuesday with a pop-up live when I'm off of vacation over at Off the Wall or off out of YouTube jail. But thank you for being here today. And please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, pay attention to this channel because we're going to have some different things going on this channel than we will on Off the Wall Prepper. We have music nights over here. We have copyright nights. We have a lot of different things that I'm going to be bringing to this channel. And I hope to see this channel grow just as much as Off the Wall did because it's going to be kind of our catch-all channel. A lot more comedy, a lot more cutting up. But I'm glad everybody was here today. God bless you from here in the Ozarks. Everybody, keep prepping. Do the dang thing. Don't give up. Don't give in. And tune in on your skills. Make your skills an important factor for the rest of this year. And make sure you have firewood because if you're in a cold environment, it's going to be a cold, cold winter. God bless all the Floridians and everything that you've went through. Tracy did check in again. Lightseeker checked in. Jen checked in. Our folks are okay for right now, thank God. I think everybody's out of danger. Um, I'm concerned still about Tracy and her family. Hopefully, her husband will be able to get out of the Atlantic and get to her and get to her and the kids. But everybody keep lifting all of our brothers and sisters up in Florida. This is OTWP signing out. I will see you all over on Off the Wall Prepper soon. Tomorrow morning, I'll see you at OTWP TV News. God bless y'all.